Audrey, and welcome to Narrative Nights. This is a new show I'm doing where we'll be highlighting authors and we'll be reading live some of their amazing works. So, with me today, I have Andrea Mason, and she's a global speaker. She really embarks trying to help bring the world together. She's a global voice, a motivational speaker, and a consultant. She does have degrees in psychology, and she's been working in an others will talk more to her. She's been working in mental health for 2 decades, and she really speaks out about bullying and abuse. So she is an author of Victim to Victorious, and we're going to hear a little bit of her reading from there today. So please help me welcome Andrea Mason, Global Visionary. Hi, Andrea. How are you today?
Hello, Andrea. Thank you so much. I absolutely love what you're doing because I inspire all the people I work with to, if they have children or teenagers, especially young children, get them a library card immediately so they can get the experience of going into the library, having that 3D experience with a book, and using their imagination and creativity to gain knowledge and go on a journey. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, you're so welcome. I love what you just said because the imagination is really our dreams pulling us to the next place in our life, right? So if we can
Yes.
imagine, we can dream and we can bring those into fruition. So I love getting lost in a book. So tell me, what inspired you to become an author?
Yes, well, I am an alumna of the legendary Les Brown, my kindred spirit, my friend, a fellow adoptee, and he said to dream book big. Everyone has a story, and it's true. We all live the book of life. It's just a matter of where we are in what chapter, and are we ready to turn the page or write our own? So it inspired me to take my personal experiences of loss, victimhood, as well as my gains, and share them with the world to let them know that they're not alone.
Oh, I love that. So why don't you read us a little bit about your story? You can pick from really anywhere because
Okay.
we are going to be leaving all of the author's links. So if she's someone that you connect to or someone that you can identify with the story, I invite you to look at the links below and really get lost in her story. Okay? So go
Excellent.
ahead, honey. Read from any place that you like. Victim to Victorious.
Yes, Victim to Victorious, which Les Brown had done the forward. It's a memoir up until this day of how I overcame life's adversities of victimization of bullying and abuse. Page 2, it states here, even to this day, I still look in the mirror and I don't know who I am. I look in the mirror and I wonder where my physical features come from. I would interpret that being adopted was the underlying thread of my feelings of being abandoned. Throughout most of the beginning stages of my life, I was always looking to fill the void in my heart, but after part of me, in my heart, but also had fears of losing someone or something. Page 34. It talks about here, I talk about mind over matter. That one was self awareness and self discovery. And ladies and gentlemen, the index of this book is the path less traveled of the life transformational journey that brought me here today of my business, Press Play, Plan Life According to You, LLC. Page 34. Now, what was my identity? Here, I was no longer an athlete, failing at school and barely being accepted back into college due to my poor grades. I was wasting my parents' money, breaking their hearts. I remember hanging out with the wrong crew, partying, and my life almost being taken away from me in more ways than one. Once I lost my identity as an athlete, not fitting in any relationship, nor doing well academically, I turned to I turned the partying into self-reflection. I remember cruising around, just going nowhere to go, just joyriding. I wanted to get off campus. I wasn't in the mood to be around anyone. So I asked myself, and she said, go joyriding. Page 35. I decided I had to get away. I was too embarrassed to go home for break. I decided that I needed to create and step into my own self. I was going to stay on campus and plan a getaway. I remember the day off break, classes went out. I walked down the halls asking if anyone was interested going to the beach for the break. At first, there were crickets, but then I found someone in my class, and that was an experience. And then finally, an excerpt from the last chapter called Mastery. I close with this. I came into contact with an honor, privilege, and pleasure to have met you and continue upon your connection, making this world a better place. Rise and unite, not conquer or divide. Follow your heart, not the herd nor the herd. For success, happiness, and joy are on the other side. Yours truly. This is Maury's story, and I'm sticking to it as my mentor, Dr. Les Brown, would say. My cup is now overflowing. I decided that due to a lifetime of opportunity, I'm going to pay it forward and give back to the world that gave me multiple chances at life and share my story with and my voice with the world now globally.
I love that. And I love that you took something that was negative in your life and you changed it into something positive. I
Thank
feel
you.
like a lot of people get stuck in that victimhood and that abuse. And I love that you took that and you really changed it and transformed into somebody that is truly your best self at this point, right? And we're always growing. So there's still more for Andrea Mason's on the horizon, I'm sure, right?
Yes.
Someone who wants to bring the world together. So I think that, like I said, a lot of people get stuck in that victimhood, and I don't think it's intentional. I think whether you're adopted or you are from your own family, right? Someone chooses to love us. But I think that the stories we're told as children are making us look outside of ourselves from the very beginning, that we need more than who we are at our core to be better, to be successful, to be accepted. And I think that we're sending a really bad message to our children, that we're not teaching them to accept themselves just as they are now. And then you speak out on bullying. So people can be really catty, people can be unkind. So then when we already have those feelings of self-deprecation, right? We don't believe that we're valued. And then these people come along, it really adds insult to injury, right? So
Yes.
I think that your book is going to spread a lot of positivity and give people a lot of hope that regardless of what's going on or what how they were raised, that they can become their own identity and live victorious.
Yes, absolutely. And that's the opening line is when you are younger, your story is told to you. But at one point, and at what point do you take the pen in your own hand? My mentor, Les Brown, says we all have a chance and a choice when we wake up. Every single moment of the day, we have the choice, which I call choose to press play, plan life according to you. And it's one thing to get hurt. It's one thing to be a victim of abuse and bullying, of which every kind I endured at every stage of my life. But was I going to live a life of vengeance? Because that would be more toxic. If I don't achieve the healing power of forgiveness, I won't become victorious. Now, forgiveness doesn't mean to forget. Forgiveness means to step back and reflect and say, what was the lesson that was taught? Have I forgiven myself? And allow me to forgive others, for I not know what state of mind, whether it was intentional or unintentional, or all that they experienced, endured to place upon me. And that, Audra, has helped me at a young age to jump into the industries of social work and psychology degrees. Social work to understand the multicultural diversities of the world, of their traditions, backgrounds, creeds, and belief systems and upbringings, married to the science behind psychology, understanding why we do what we do and what we don't do. And I've been able to take all of that based on experience of being abused and bullying and learn, step back, and how can I help others achieve it too? Because life gives us adversities. It's are we able to overcome those adversities and create our own identity and help others overcome and achieve it as well?
I love that. And I think that forgiveness is really key here. You know, we do have to look at our part in everything, right? So even if we're the victim, we do have a part in that. We either choose our part, either becomes to choose to accept that, right? My mother always said there's no victims, there's volunteers, that we accept that the way people
Mhm.
treat us, but we don't have to allow that. But we don't necessarily forgive for them, like you said. It's for us, so we can move on,
Right.
right? We don't always forget, right? So, and
Mhm.
I think it's about taking those things and making them into something beautiful so that we can move on and live a life that we love, right?
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
we can't let those minute experiences, right? Even if they continued for decades, we can't let them determine the rest of our future. We do have a choice in that, you know. And I'm fond of Les Brown myself, right? So I'm very
Yes.
familiar with his work. I'm fond of him. But I think that your message is very clear here that you do have a choice. It's a daily choice. Press play, right?
Mhm.
Today when
Yes.
you wake up to press play. So if you
Yes.
could leave the audience, not read the audience, if you could leave the audience with one insight that you think would help carry them through these situations of bullying, abuse, and victimhood, what would that be for you today?
Yes. Louis B. Smeets says to forgive someone is to set a prisoner free only to realize the prisoner is you. So I leave you with this. As human beings, we must have patience. Patience isn't always easy, for we are on the Creator's timeline. We must have passion to pursue what we love every single day, because that's the gift that was given to us, and to persevere, because every small action we take daily doesn't lead to perfection, but constantly leads us towards success and progression.
I
Yeah.
love that. So, audience, I want to thank you for tuning in with us today. I want to thank my amazing guests, and Andrea is in other books, so we will be seeing Andrea again on some of our
Yes.
other show. So please thank my guest, Andrea Mason, and have a great evening.
Thank you.